Hello again, and welcome to part 3 of how to make wine, and here we're in the primary fermentation stage. And let me show you the airlock and tell you what is going on inside our fermenter. You see the water is bubbling out at a very constant rate, and what is bubbling out is carbon dioxide, CO2. And what is happening inside of the bucket is the yeast is working on the sugar, both the sugar that we added and the sugar that just is naturally occurring in the grapes, and is turning the sugar into alcohol. And the byproduct of that process is carbon dioxide, which comes out, because this is a sealed environment, the only place it can come out is through the airlock, and so it's coming out as carbon dioxide, and you can see it with the bubbles. Now at this stage, some people say to run it 1 week, I do it 2 weeks, but all you do is, it's kind of the most labor intensive stage because you have to do something every day. You do what we call, you say good morning every morning to your wine and good night every night to your wine. And what we do is we take off the lid, which I'll try to do with one hand. And there are all of our grapes. And what we're going to do is just make sure that all the grapes that are on the top get wet, because you don't want bacteria and whatnot to form on them, which can happen if they dry out a bit. Now you see all the bubbles that are being produced because I'm agitating the batch, and even more yeast is working on sugar and more carbon dioxide is escaping. So let me put the lid back on and we'll see if even more bubbles come off after sealing it. Okay. And right now what's happening is the pressure is building, pushing this up. Maybe a little bit more, but not much different than what we saw before, which is what you expect. And one of the reasons that it's bubbling so crazy is because of those additives that we added at the beginning of the process. Both the yeast nutrient and the yeast energizer helps really spark the fermentation process. So that was it. Stay tuned in a couple weeks when we take this batch that I'm working on for the next week and a half and go into secondary fermentation. By the way, just to let you know, this all happens about 4 days. This is about 4 days after my last video where I got everything started. So there was actually fermenting about 24 hours, and it was really going crazy 48 hours later. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye-bye.